I want to talk about 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
Just announced you're coming back for another round.
Correct.
It's on Netflix, so it's weird saying another season. I
don't know how that works, but it is a second season technically.
Coming out with another binge-watching weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, basically.
No, but so look, I mean, we really covered that show backward and forward on our show because it was such an interesting, not only interesting project to watch, the storyline, of course, but also the reaction and response from public, from school systems, this and that. What do you have to say about everything that happened and what you learned from your first season?
I think I definitely was overwhelmed with the reaction because, this book, we'd had the rights to the book for 7 years. So we knew we wanted to do the book justice because it already had a following. And the content it's complicated. It's dark and it has moments that are honestly really hard to swallow. And I understood that. I understood that we were going into something that is difficult, but these kids today are so exposed to things that I would never even comprehend when I was 8. My cousin teaches 3rd grade and they're doing things and saying things that I couldn't even fathom. And I feel like if this is what we're going to talk about, we might as well do it in a way that it's going to be honest, it's going to be real, and it stays true to the book. So all the questions that came up and all the talk about it was all valid, and I understand it. But I think with the season 2, we're going to actually answer a lot of those questions, and a lot of resolution with the characters are going to come. And these kids put their heart in it. I mean, Catherine and Dylan were unbelievable, and they believe the story and they understand that this is happening every day. So whether or not you wanted to see it, that's what's happening.
Right. Absolutely.
How do you have a season 2?
Yeah, how do you have a season 2? I mean, if you're familiar with the book and the story, season 1's pretty much the book.
It is, right. But with season 2, we kind of, like I said, go into the resolution of where these characters are going. So I went to the writer's room actually the other day, and I felt like I was watching a movie because I was freaking out on where they're going, and it's actually really encouraging and empowering. And so we're going to kind of, take a little inspiration from the first and bring it into the second. So, yeah.
Cool. I did love, because there, like you said, was so much controversy about it, but I loved that it brought up the conversation, because whether you agreed with it or you didn't, you were talking about it.
Right.
And there were so many issues that you guys so beautifully addressed, and the book addresses, like bullying and suicide, obviously, and drugs and, sexual assault, that at least, thank goodness, that conversation is now being had.
Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff is uncomfortable for people to talk about, but it is happening, and hopefully it opened the door for people to actually accept what's happening and actually go and change it, talk about it.
Being a parent right now, I have an 11 and an 8-year-old, is probably one of the scariest things in the world.
I could
Because like you said, there's so many things that it's my first time dealing with it, because I never had half of this social media, that. We never had any of that.
Yeah.
So there's classes that they're actually giving at schools now on how to deal with your kids in these things.
Yeah, I think that maybe ignited it too a little bit, which was good.
Selena Gomez is here. If you're wondering what's going on, she's here.
Hi.
By the way,
yes, I am.
And even though the book came out 7 years ago, and 13 Reasons Why, just huge response. I know what it did for us anyway in our dialogue here is it ripped the Band-Aid off. It ripped the mask off. And to have an open discussion about mental health is easier now. For some reason, look, when I was a kid, if someone had cancer, you would never say the word out loud. She has cancer. Like, why? What? Right. Why are you whispering? She's got cancer. Stop whispering. Stop whispering about cancer. Mental health has been that issue that people have been so afraid to talk about. Why? It's so great to be able to talk about it, and I really, truly think this project helps.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. My mom would be appreciated.